Hi, I'm Gloria Hass, and welcome to Day 4, Getting Fit God's Way. Yesterday, I received my book of Getting Fit, Faith-Inspired Transformation. I was talking with my girlfriend, and when she receives the book next week, we're going to go through this together. And I was looking through it this morning, and I was even thinking last night. I remember when I was 31, I went into bodybuilding. I was very overweight, but I was still very insecure even after I got six-pack abs, muscles, hard body, looked fabulous, went from a size 16, 18 down to a 12, 14. Now, that you would think that I would feel good, but no, I was still insecure. I was still being torn down verbally by my parents. I could not do anything right. And even though I surrounded myself with people who told me how great I looked, how wonderful I was, I didn't understand it in my heart. I didn't get it in my head because I had been told since I was a toddler, you, Gloria, are a nobody. You are never going to amount to being a somebody because there's only one somebody in the world, and that is me. That's what my dad's mother said. That's what my dad was saying. That's what my mother said. And even my dad would tear me and my brother down saying, you will never achieve at anything great. Why? My father told me he had a fear of success. He couldn't do anything better than his mother or she would tear him down. So he had to tear us down in the process so we would not ever achieve anything great. Although my father had motive for me to lose my weight and to do bodybuilding and look good because he was a sexual predator. And that's hard to say. And yes, I was his victim when I was a child and a teenager. And here he was trying to reel me in again. So what's the best way to hide? Behind weight. Or so I thought. And then my dad called me a baby hippo, told me how horrible I was. So my motivation to show him was to get a hard body. To say, see, I can do this. I can look good regardless of how you feel. Wrong motivation factors. It's not giving God glory. It's giving my flesh and my dad's flesh glory. And here I am at 62 saying, I remember not wanting to go back into bodybuilding because of the long time commitment and the long term for my body to become healthy. I still subconsciously did not want to be healthy. Why? Because then I would be left alone. No, there's always going to be a man, whether who's not a gentleman, who will always want a woman regardless. There are men who will pick women with low self-esteem so they can have power over them, so they can feel better about themselves. So I really had to look at last night of what am I going to do now that I know in my heart that I am a somebody after dealing with all of the stuff, the thoughts, the memories. Well, I looked at the majority of my life, the majority of the people I surrounded myself with reinforce that I'm a nobody and that I'm not a somebody. And while we've always been a somebody with God, our flesh wants to run after people who treat us like a somebody. In my heart now, I knew it in my head, but now I know in my heart that I'm a somebody with God. So I'm going to wean the people who treat me like a nobody out of my life. Just push them back. Just keep pushing them back farther until they fall off. And I will make new friends, people who treat me better than these people who don't. But I was looking at, okay, she looks great, the woman who wrote this book, and I was weighing that Kim Dolan Leto, she looks pretty good. And she started this journey for a reason. I'll read the introduction. Put on the new self, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. Colossians 3, chapter 10, the English Standard Version. She writes, I try to keep smiling under the glaring lights and cameras as the suspense built in the room. The anticipation was nerve-wracking. Surrounded by 20-something girls in the best shape of their lives, I wasn't sure I stood a chance at winning. The competition had been tough, and all of these women were extremely beautiful and talented. It had been 2.5 years since my father had suffered a stroke, and I had begun my fitness journey. Perhaps becoming a fitness model and working my way toward entering the ESPN Fitness America competition was slight overkill. I mean, just losing the weight would have been a great reward, but something in me wanted to make up for lost time. Whatever the case, I had learned so much about what my body was capable of, and fitness had truly become my passion in the process. Yes, she won, but then she still had the yo-yo of weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss. And this lifestyle continued until she had a baby at age 38. Having my child so late in life made me reconsider my reasons for being fit, and I realized the methods by which I had been trying to maintain a certain look were not necessarily the ones that would ensure a long, healthy lifestyle. So I started praying for God to intervene in the raging battle over my weight. I didn't want to have any idols in my life, and I especially didn't want my body to be one. Turning to Him was my last resort, but it should have been the first place I went. Her best motivators are what happened to how, her father had a stroke, family, health issues, be a best motivator for losing weight instead of wanting to look good for a fleeting occasion. This is the answer to losing weight and keeping it off. And in doing so, I have found that growing closer to God is an even greater reward than maintaining a certain weight. Focusing my healthy lifestyle on Him rather than on my body gives me the lasting motivation and the sufficient strength I need to continue on. And this is where I am right now, setting myself up for a healthy lifestyle on God rather than my body looking so great to make up for a poor self-image, which has gotten better. Our image and I've taught this, our value is from God, not man. And we can hear that in our heads until one day things just click together. And they're clicking together for me. So it's like, do I want to do bodybuilding? No, I want to do strength training. I want to lose my weight. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to walk more than a half a mile a day without, running out of breath. But I do go up and down stairs 5 to 6 times a day, 2 flights to take my dog in and out, to walk. So I am getting some cardio there. Remember when I first moved here 1.5 years ago, I would have to stop when I went up the first 7 steps and rest for a minute before I could go up the next 8, and then rest before I can walk the short distance down the hall to my apartment to come in to sit on the bed and rest. Now I can go up and down the steps pretty good unless I'm not feeling well, and then I just take them slowly, and when I come up, I do rest. What's my motivator has to be my health. And I can't look at, I'm going to the doctor, I need to see weight loss. I have a very wonderful nurse practitioner who looks at my overall health, not just the numbers. What's really nice is her office staff and her are great. If I lose weight, yay, you've lost weight. Or they don't say anything if you've gained. If you ask, well, you did gain a few pounds, but that's okay. They're not, it's because everything else looks good. My blood pressure is on the low side, and it's like, you're doing the best you can, Gloria. I almost died 4 years ago. So before that incident occurred, I could walk 2 miles a day, 1 mile in the morning, 1 mile at night. or sometimes 2 miles in the morning, and then walk periodically throughout the day, walking my dog a quarter of a mile. So I was doing pretty good with rest. I was driving. I was having, going out with friends, had the energy to do all this. I've come a long way in the last 4 years, and my nurse practitioner has told me that. And now this is the next step to getting even healthier, to see if I can regain the health that I've lost. So what are your motivators for losing weight? Other than external, other than, physically wanting to look really good, let's not let our vanity get in the way. I'm working on mine because of what society says we should look like. I need to know I look good now, and regardless of the size I am, all I need to be is healthy. Thanks for watching.